So, welcome to episode number 8 of the football podcast at the Anfield Red. I'm Miranik and I will be talking about Liverpool's performance against Manchester City in the last game that happened at Anfield, the quarterfinals of UEFA Champions League. The atmosphere was pretty much set for the host, and there were expectations that Liverpool should be doing great in this game, and we certainly proved ourselves to the fans who were expecting us to do good, and we won the match by great margin. That is a happy and healthy margin of 3 goals to nil. And good thing about this tie is that we didn't concede any away goals and kept the clean sheet. So it is the massive win and perhaps the biggest win of our current season. I would say we were brilliant attack wise, and while defending, we were precise, sharp, and on the point. So let's begin this podcast by talking about the first half. Our first half started with some the first goal. I would talk about the first goal, how it started, how the things built up, and it all went in our favor. It was a poor pass from Sane, and which he was, I think, he was giving it to De Bruyne, but ball went in a wrong direction, and it was on the feet of Sadio Mane, who passed the ball to James Milner, and he gave a perfect pass to Mohamed Salah, who was sort of, you can say, in offside position, but it was a marginal offside. So sometimes it goes in your favor, and sometimes it doesn't go. It goes against your team, but we can't help it. But we hope that these things don't occur, and maybe with a coming of VAR, these things can improve. Certainly, if it was Liverpool who conceded the first goal in same fashion, we would be furious about that. But anyhow, we can't help it, whatever happened. So Salah gave the ball to Firmino, and the first goal occurred with that most important touch that Firmino gave after City's defender. I think it was Company, who couldn't clear the ball. He gave the ball perfectly to Salah, who just tapped it in and gave Liverpool their first goal. After the first goal, there was a chance with City to make a comeback, and but Leroy Sané didn't capitalize on that amazing chance he had. I mean, he had so much of open space, but he didn't utilize it well, and ball just went wide away from the post. After that goal, there was a stunning, most beautiful goal I seen from Oxlade-Chamberlain, who also scored in the previous game against City. That was also a beautiful goal from Oxlade-Chamberlain. But this goal was such a stunning strike, and it I would says City left a wide open space, and it was easy, not the easiest goal to do, but Ox did it really right, and he spotted the space that was in front of him. So it was second goal was the most beautiful goal of the match, I would say. So the pressure was really on Manchester City, who conceded two early goals, and just within the 30 minutes of the game, within half an hour, we scored our third goal, which was a perfect assist by Salah. And there were just two defenders of Manchester City, and three Liverpool players were inside the who outbeated those defenders, and that assist from Salah went towards the head of Mane, who perfectly netted the ball in, and I think City got under. We completely made them under the pressure with those three quick goals in first 30 minutes, and City never recovered from that. And after the first half, in the second half, City looked like they are trying their best, maybe because we dropped our intensity a little bit, and it was pretty much evident with the way Klopp was shouting from the sideline. He was constantly saying to his players that uh, don't slack back, uh, don't hold yourself back, and just keep the things going the way they were going. And it certainly helped our cause. And we also we kept the clean sheet, and we won the game the way we were wanting. And talking about the second half, City had another chance to for themselves, but it was again Sane who missed the cross. I think he should have tried for scoring a one, but he tried to cross the ball, and it went away from. It never went to the city player, and went for a goal kick. And so yeah, that happened in the second half. There was another amusing incident that happened in the second half. Was Sterling, who came on the sideline, and he was he was saying many things which I saw in many videos, many fan videos around the Anfield. So after that happening, he was booed on the field. So that was amusing thing to watch. But despite that, there's another bad occurrence that happened. That is our captain Henderson. He got a yellow card for giving a tackle to Raheem Sterling, so he will miss the next game. How does it affect? It's it's really hard to say how would it affect our result in the second leg, but I think it won't be an issue, because by that time Amrit Khan will be ready to play, and it won't be a big loss if we don't have Henderson, as we don't have Henderson for the second leg. And what was astonishing in the second half and throughout the game was the fact that Manchester City didn't had one single shot on target. And their forward, if we talk about Gabriel Jesus, he only had six passes in the whole game, and three of them came from the kickoff. So that sums up the performance of City. They weren't even doing anything really great. The chances that they had, they didn't capitalize on them. So it wasn't impressive thing from the team that is sitting on the top of the Premier League table. But it was all down to our performance. We really perform our best, gave our best, and showed world our best football at throughout the 90 minutes of the game. And there was there was concern about Mohamed Salah, who looked like who was subbed in between the game in the second half. But it didn't look like it's a serious injury. It was related to something related to his groin. But as per reports, it said, and as per player, that it's not anything to be worried of. So we can expect him. Let's hope he starts in the derby game. If not, in the playing 11, at least from he will be on the bench as I expect, and maybe playing for 20 or 30 minutes. I think that would be okay, because after that game, within 2 to 3 days time, that is, we are playing Everton on 7th of this month, and on 11th we are again playing City. So Salah need to be there in the second leg, which I hope he will be. So let's Let's hope Salah. There's nothing serious with Salah, and he plays in the second leg definitely. And yeah, that's all happened in the both of the halves. Liverpool were completely the best team on the field throughout those 90 minutes. Now, talking about player ratings, how to start for going with our goalkeeper. I don't think Karius had anything special to do because City didn't even shot one shot on target, so it would be fair to give him seven out of 10. And talking about Trent Arnold, oh wow, he had the best game when people were doubting whether he should start because he made errors in the past few games, but he silenced his critics and he gave the best performance we saw from him since he started for the first team. So 9 out of 10 for Trent Arnold. He was right there uh, with the top-notch performance on the right wing, which City looked to attack a lot, and he surely kept Leroy Sané in the pocket. And now moving on to other fullback, that is Andy Robertson on the left back position. Eight points to him out of 10. He's having a good time at Liverpool. So, and he didn't do anything disappointing throughout the game. So 8 on 10 for Robertson. Now moving on to our centre backs. Wow, Lovren was the best centre backs of the two. That is from Van Dijk and himself. He gave the best performance so far in this season as much as Trent Arnold did. So 9 out of 10 for Lovren. His tackles were on point. He was leading. Also, if you remember, it was 3-4 days back. Klopp said something about Lovren that he expects him to be a leader in the team, and he certainly delivered that. And he gave the performance which really brings the feeling of the proud feeling within us as a fan. So now moving on to Van Dijk, 8 out of 10 for him. He didn't have much to do, but he did all which you expect from him to do. And moving on to our midfield, Henderson gets 7.5. Yes, he didn't. He isn't having a best season, but he can really improve from what he's doing currently. So 7.5 out of 10. He didn't do bad, to be honest. He did the right things, but 7.5 because he still needs to improve in overall, and he needs to be consistent. About Oxlade Chamberlain, another wonderful performance from him. The goal that was completely fire. He shot it like a rocket and gave us the second goal in the game. So 8 out of 10. And to be honest, he didn't give such performances at Arsenal. So big, massive improvement in his playing style. He has been a better player since arriving at Liverpool. That's in honest opinion, you can say that. Moving on to James Miller, who started 8 points out of 10. Yes, you didn't see much from James Miller, but he again did the basic things right, and he's consistent and he never disappoints you whenever he's playing. So 8 on 10, 8 out of 10 for James Miller. Now moving on to our forwards, both wingers, that is Mane and Mohamed Salah, they get 9 each. Mane gets 9, and he also won the man of the match award. So that he gave a brilliant performance tonight in that game, and he has now scored 16 goals since arriving in Premier League, and 16 goals in a season for Liverpool. So That's a brilliant stuff from Sadio Mane going on there. And now talking about the Mohamed Salah, he is just wonderful and he delightful to watch. So 9 out of 10 Salah gets, for your information, he has now scored 38 goals for Liverpool in his 43 appearances, and he holds 13 assists as well for Liverpool. So that is something since scintillating from Mohamed Salah, and he looks like one of the contenders for the Golden Boot, and also for golden also for Ballon d'Or. He can win that, to be honest. But for that to happen, Liverpool needs to make it to at least finals, and Salah's Egypt team needs to be at least in the knockouts of the World Cup. So that could definitely help him to get that prestigious award. Uh, but we will have to wait and see what happens on that front. Now talking about the last player in our for our ratings, that is Roberto Firmino. He gets 8.5. Yeah, he gave one assist in the game, and even though he's not, he doesn't get the attention that he deserves. But he does all the right works you expect. He does more than the right. He does more than the right stuff you expect from a false nine. He drops down, he tackles, he takes the ball away, he creates chances, he does everything like a workhorse. So 8.5 for his performance tonight against City. And that, well, that sums up our our analysis part and this ratings things. What do you guys think was this the best performance of the season? In my eyes, surely it was the best stuff from Liverpool for this season, and which pretty much gives so many positive things as a fan. And maybe for next season, we if we if we do really well in our remaining games, it would be a massive boost for the next season. It will new attract many players to the club. It will it will help us in getting extra funds, which we can utilize on buying quality players. So that's a lot of positive this result has provided us with. Now we will travel away to play Everton next on 7th, and then there's a away game for against City. Yes, we have been. There was something being said by Vincent Company that they will give us their own kind of reception, because what Liverpool's fans did, some of the Liverpool's fans threw some missiles and some bottles on the bus. And even though it doesn't sometimes look that great, but if you read the statement made by Kevin De Bruyne, he said as long as it's not hurting them on a personal level, it's fine to have such welcome to opponents. So some people are finding it all right, because it didn't hurt anyone in a physical manner. But some people have their own opinions, like Pep Guardiola didn't like that. He didn't expected such kind of reception from the Liverpool fans. And even though Liverpool apologized right after knowing about those incidences, UEFA has opened inquiry into the matter, and there will be hearing on that front on 31st of May. So even though that won't affect, but we can that won't affect our current going our current uh, our current schedule uh, in this competition in Champions League. But maybe they might end up finding us, because they do find clubs when such things happen. They did impose a fine on Paris Saint-Germain for that flares that they used inside the stadium, and maybe for what happened outside while City's bus was arriving. They can find Liverpool as well, although it's not related to club, because those were some 20, 30 odd fans who did that thing, and it didn't occur inside the stadium. So it would be interesting to know what happens on that front. But yeah, you can let know about our performance. Was it the best one of the season? And I will catch you in the next podcast episode, which would be about our derby, that is Merseyside derby against our neighbors, that is Everton. So I will catch you for that podcast. Until then, goodbye. Have a nice day.